Hi class, Mrs. Lowe here again. We're into Chapter 4 now, and remember that your unit tests will cover Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. Now, Chapter 4 will get more into linear relations, and the first section on 4.1 is writing an equation for a linear relation given a table of values. And we're going to write our equations in the form y equals mx plus b. This is one of several forms of a linear relation. This one is known as the slope-intercept form. And the reason it's known as the slope-intercept form is because m is the slope of the line, and it's given in the problem, and b is the y-intercept, and it's given in the equation as well. So this equation is known as slope-intercept form. So we have a table of values here to the left, and we are told that it's linear, and we're going to find the rule or the equation that will work for these points and any other points on that line. So we're going to identify first the y-intercept, and I'm going to show you two ways to find the y-intercept. The first one is just simply using the table of values. The y-intercept is where x is 0. And if you notice, when x is 0, y is 2. So the y-intercept is where x is 0. So in this case, y would be 2. And therefore, our b value would be 2. So when we plug this into the formula, it'll be y equals some value for m, x plus 2. We're putting a plus because the y-intercept is a positive number. So the next thing we're going to find is the slope. We know the slope is the rise over the run, or the change in y's over the change in x, or the difference between the y's, two y values, divided by the difference between their corresponding x values. So as I've mentioned, you want to pick any 2 points, and you're going to subtract their y values and subtract their x values. So I'm going to pick these two. I'm going to go 4 minus 2. So that's the change in the y values. Over, because I started with the 4, I need to start with this 2. 2 minus 0. So the slope becomes, that's 2 minus 0, 2 over 2, which is 1. So the slope is 1. And you're going to plug it into the equation here at 1. Now, if you do not see the b, or the y-intercept in the table of values, you can solve for the b algebraically. And that's very important when you're provided the table of values and perhaps the y-intercept is not an integer. So if we need to find the b algebraically, you first need to figure out the slope. See, I put 1 in for the slope. And then you're going to pick one of these points to substitute in for x and y. Any points. I'm going to pick 0, 2, because it's always easy to plug in 0. I'm going to plug this in for x and y, and I'm going to algebraically solve for b. So y is 2. 1 times 0, notice I'm putting that in parentheses, plus b. So we have 2 equals 0 plus b. Therefore, b is 2. And that's exactly what we found up here and in the table. But again, if it's not provided in the table, or it happens to be a fraction, you're going to have to solve it algebraically. So again, the formula for the equation is y equals 1x plus 2. Any point on this line will satisfy this equation. This is an equation of a line. You can use it to make a prediction. Any point on this line will satisfy it, and all these points given in the table satisfy it. Hope this helps. On the next video, we'll do one where the b is a fraction. Good luck.